Welcome to a game between Godde and Randy. Randy asked for a replay analysis between me as spiders and Randy as shield balls. Yes, let's see how this goes. Personally, I prefer going spiders or jump bots on this map because they can abuse these cliffs, which other factories can't. Shield bots, I mean, I'd say that almost all factories are borderline viable on this map. So shield bots is an okay choice, but I prefer to go to do something that can abuse the cliffs, like all-terrain spiders or jump bots. And you can see here that Randy is gonna start with making some bandits. I prefer to go for an economic start here, as economically greedy as possible, because with a few fleas I can scout almost all incoming raiders and try to harass them and force out some defenses and such. So Randy has already, I spent 50 metal on scouting units, and Randy already spent 225 and 315 on this Lotus turret. So yeah, I'm making some... so he has a plan, he knows I'm gonna expand here. And he's pretty... I see this coming, but I start building the turret too late. And that means he's gonna be able to harass this thing. But he can't really get to my Weaver because I can abuse the cliffs. He can't really do anything about that. Like, he can try to go there, but I can always move down the cliffs here, and the bots can't get it. So, I mean, this is one way you can use spiders. Just go down these cliffs and avoid enemy units. So then you can't really get them. Yeah, he loses the raider there, not too good. But you can see here, at least he forces me. He slows down my expansion. I can't start building mixes. I haven't built anything because I'm so greedy. So I'm making a venom now to like counter this raiding. But yeah, I have to build extra Lotus turrets just here, just to be able to get on top of the cliff again. So that's, I'd say that raiding is pretty worth it by Randy. He's getting ahead in expansion from this. And he kills another half-build turret. I intend to build a Lotus turret there, but I failed. But I'm still abusing these cliffs in the cover of this Lotus here. You can see how we can abuse the cliffs. And Randy is, yeah. Like, Randy's playing it pretty safe. Like, he's using two cons here that you can't, they're really hard to get with just fleas, since the shields cover each other. Yeah. And Randy is smartly moving away his bandits before the Lotus turret, the new Lotus turret gets them. And I have to push out the 200 metal venom there to counter it. But finally I will get them. Yeah. So you can see here that the Randy is out-expanding me at the moment, but I also started making some extra cons, and he's not really checking the center. Like having like just two raiders here, and like just checking out would force me to have to build turrets earlier, or maybe even force me away from this. Like if he would have had 5 raiders down here, he would maybe be able to break it, or I would have built defense in time, but at least he would have slowed down my expansion. And he's already gonna go for some rogues, which, I mean, it's kind of Randy likes these timing pushes, and it's like rogues are really cost effective in the sense like they can kill Lotus turrets without any problem because they outrange Lotus turrets, and even Stingers have struggle against them, because if you just hold fire the rogues and go in and there's nothing distracting them and nothing to kill them, you can go in with like 8 rogues and just burst down a turret in no time, and you make cost basically, because yeah, a single Stinger can't kill that. And yeah, like I wanted to go up this hill, but it looks like he's gonna cut me off. My commander, I want to turret defense creep, but I can't really do that against rogues because they're just gonna kill. Like pickets, they're no good. They get killed in one shot, and Lotus turret are outrange. So yeah, I can't really advance against this with just my commander and like turret creep. Like I could build pickets, but they would probably just get picked off. probably not without making costs. But I still get this this expansion almost for free. And yeah, I know that if I just can get a critical mass of recluse, they will counter the rogues. Like Randy likes to go for this bandit push, bandit and rogue spam, and it's hard to deal with for most factories. And I mean, if you're like, he's gonna get some momentum here with his rogues, and they're pretty hard to stop. Like I can sort of get fleas against this, but still, 1 or 2 bandits is gonna force them away. Oh, and he gets a nice hit there. So if you mess up with the fleas, they die. If there come some bandits, they die. So they're mostly buying time for me. So yeah, you need something else to really hold the line. And you can see here that I'm dodging projectiles. I'm trying to keep the busy. I need to kill these bandits. I also need to not lose my commanders and keep these rogues busy here, because I can't take that much damage from the commander. Like I could start building defenses, but he doesn't have enough bandits to really threaten my commander. And I have some venom salts, so yeah, I just have to keep dodging with the commander, and I'm pretty okay. Like I have some fleas that can push away the rogues if there's not enough bandits there, and then I have these recluses working here. But see here, I already got 1400 of recluses here, and that's against 1400 of rogues here. So we can't really push against this. So I'm gonna So I just have to be careful not losing these against bandits or losing them against stray missiles like this, and I'm pretty good. Yeah, this is a question now for Randy, like what does he do? I'm starting to get up some numbers of recluses. I just lost one, so that's good for him. But still, he can't skirmish. Like my recluses will eventually counter the rogues. So either he should try to go for a timing push where he goes in before I have critical numbers of recluses, or he has to switch to something else. And you can see that I have spy, and I accidentally lose this here. I think, yeah, I was planning to stun that commander. But you can see here, he's still forcing away my commander with these rogues. But I can still dodge the shot with the commander and even kill them while the fleas are herding these. And you can see here, he comes out with a thug ball. And yeah, it's decent against this. Like, I don't have any recluses here, so I can't really drain the shield ball. So it can be pretty decent. Yeah. But as soon as the venoms can kind of burst through the shields, or they hit beyond the shields, so when eventually they will stun the outlaw and the thug. Yeah. But you can see here that yeah, he doesn't really want to go in against this. And stingers are kind of a good choice. Like stingers, they will make costs against recluses. It's very hard to go in against a stinger and without losing 2 recluses, even if you have overwhelming numbers of recluses. So it's something you can do. And at this point we're pretty even. And he chose to go for gunships. And I spot this on the radar and I instantly start making redbacks. And this means, like, I already had made some extra defense here. And it's something like, even though I only saw it on radar, it was enough to, like, even fleas, if the banshees are distracted and attacking something else, even fleas will do damage to these banshees. Like, banshees can kill fleas alright, but if they're trying to kill a turret or something meanwhile, the fleas can just go under them and kill them or damage them quite a lot. And they're also fast fleas. And here is Randy sort of made the mistake of not having an outlaw here to slow down these venoms. And he also made this mistake of trying to go back in again against these redbacks. Like, at least he's tying up these redbacks. Yeah. But he didn't really do much damage there. He killed some energy. Which, yeah. And he's gonna try to go up here where I have my venoms. Like, if you can overwhelm the venoms with these locals or banshees, yeah, you can do fine. But not now. And also you can see me going over the hill and killing Stinger. And then I get shot on his commander. Like, you should be careful about that. Like, I can abuse the cliffs in that way, go behind and like kill the Stinger like that. Yeah. And from here on, it's gonna basically fall apart. Like, he tried to push in here, but the fleas distracted the rogues, and the Lotus turret held against the bandits. And here comes the rest of the redbacks. So he gained some ground, but he lost his commander, and his gunship didn't really pay off. And you can see after that engagement, I'm got ahead pretty far. Like, value killed. Yeah, he was doing value before that, because I had to sacrifice so many fleas and stuff, and these rogues were killing defense and stuff. So yeah, there's a timing push you can do. Like, if I try to follow these rogues, I'm gonna take losses with these redbacks. And Randy chose to go for a Nimbus. And Nimbus, they look good on paper, like they have long range, and they do pretty good damage. But they have a hard time finishing off units. Like, I set my units to on retreat on 60%. That's because if they take a hit from a rogue, they should go back and repair before they take too much damage. And oh, you can see here me making a mistake, having him stand still, and then the rogues just instantly does a lot of damage. So yeah, I have my units on hold position here, which is, yeah, it's risky. Like, you probably don't want to have them in hold position, because I put them online without fight there for a while, and I got hit bad by these rogues. But so yeah, it's something you have to be careful about. So he has still out-expanded a little, but he, like these Nimbuses, they do fine until you get some longer ranged AA. Like, the problem with these is Nimbuses, they don't really, like, if I have something with this much range, the rogues, the Nimbuses can't really use the range to their advantage. Like, they can't, like, it works better against a shield wall factor, for example, because their AA has lower range. Like, this AA has 1000 range, while, for example, a Vandal has 880 range. So that means it's easier to, like, go in and do damage from afar and use the Nimbuses as artillery, more or less, so you can do damage without taking damage. Yeah, but now I'm having basically, yeah. This is also something you can do with waves, like you can kill lone stinger turrets, which can help you when you're gonna go in with the recluses later on. Like, this gives me the ability to go in against the recluses. And you can see, yeah, so basically just these two Tarantulas is pushing away these Nimbuses. Because even though the Nimbuses can potentially kill the Tarantulas can start moving back, and the Nimbuses will start missing, and if they go too far, they will go into turret ranges, and I have redbacks, and even the recluses can somewhat hit them. So that's why Nimbuses, they are deceptively good. Like, you don't wanna use them against factories that has long range AA. And you can see me here making this mistake, like not caring about this single row. So I'm gonna lose my commander for that. But yeah, now I basically have critical mass against these rogues. And I can push back against this whole unit. And yeah, you can see I'm pulling quite far ahead here. Like, yeah, the Nimbuses can't hold the ground in that sense. Like, I think Randy would have been better off like switching to instead of gunships, he could have switched to what do you call it? You could have switched to jump bots and made a 5-walker or something like that. Like, jump bots has the tool to counter the spiders late game. Like, I would say you can go shield bots against spider, that's fine, but you should be ready to transition. Because, yeah, you don't really have anything against recluses or crabes in the shield ball factory. Racketeers can kind of deal with crabes. But yeah, otherwise than that, you can see I lost my command here against a single rolling, that was a mistake. But I'm still pulling ahead here. Yeah, so Racketeers can kinda counter crab, but not really. So the shield ball factor doesn't really have any counter to recluses. But you have alternatives, like you can try to go for a cloak snitches and try to go in when I don't have, when I'm overexposed and don't have fleas. But once I have spotted the cloak snitches, I'm gonna use basically fleas to cover it, and it will be very hard to deal. But it will still be a threat, and it, like, you may get 1 or 2 good hits with the snitches, a cloak snitches. You just have a mobile cloaker, more from a cornea. And yeah, you can get 1 or 2 good hits, and then you're gonna force me to build more fleas all the time. But anyway, in this matchup, I'm still making fleas all the time to distract these rogues. They're pretty good at distracting rogues and buying time. So I mean, you can do the early push with rogues, and if you look at like value killed, you can see here Randy was doing pretty well. He was killing more until I got back and killed his commander there, and he lost his gunship. So he was doing all right before that. You can see the dip here, where he lost his commander and the banshees. So I mean, that could have been a 5-walker, and a 5-walker would have forced me to switch into a crab, for example, and then you can come out with like a juggernaut or something. Like a juggernaut basically counters the whole spider factory. I mean, it's gonna take damage and you're gonna have to repair it and stuff, and you have to be careful not to lose it against 2 spies and stuff like that, but it's still a good unit, like, and the firewalker is deadly to the spiders. Like, they have nothing really. You can put a crab on a spire or hill and they can kind of keep it away and just stay on the hill. But still, like, yeah, I would say the gunship switch was pretty bad. Like, you could have been satisfied with the rogue pushing and gone into some other factor, or maybe even pushed through with the rogues. I mean, it depends on how much momentum you get. If you're getting momentum and my numbers of recluses are small enough, yeah, I'm not gonna like... Yeah, you might be able to push through, but it's balancing on a knife's edge against the recluses. So yeah, you should think about what you're switching into against recluses. Like, you can't stay on rogues and bandits all the time. And this time, the banshees, the lotus, did nothing because I had too much defense here, and yeah, I just were pushing out some red backs and some fleas, and they were enough to us push off them. So what else can be said? Yeah, you should learn to play the game, noob. You shouldn't just like rely on pure rogues and bandits against recluses. You should know the game and switch to something better, like firewalkers. Yeah. GG, well played.